What is going on, guys? This is Michael Williams from Cartoon Universe, and I'm here to discuss the latest episode of Samurai Jack. Unfortunately, Haley could not join us once again, but we're just gonna kind of run down. There's a lot of little Easter eggs and throwbacks to the original series, which is really cool. And Haley's never seen the original series, so it should be little left out here. And actually there's a few episodes that I didn't see that they referenced here as well, so I'm just gonna jump right into it. This is actually a very Ashi focused episode, which was really cool. It was interesting to see the way they kind of made her realize why Jack is the hero even more so than she already did, and kind of understand the evil and the terrors that Aku has been committing over the course of all of these years. So that was really cool how they did that. So it starts off with Ashi, and she's in this airship and she's following Jack. I don't know how Jack got this far. He was right, they were in the same area. Like, how did he travel that fast and that far away from Ashi? I have absolutely no idea, especially since it seemed like he was just walking. I don't know, maybe Ashi just made a wrong turn somewhere and ended up lost. But yeah, she's in the airship, and we actually see the Woolies again, which is really cool. We didn't actually know, because if you see the preview, they're kind of wearing these disguises, sort of. So it was really cool to see the Woolies back. I think they're the same Woolies that Jack saw. I don't think they're descendants, so I guess Woolies last a long time. They have a longer lifespan than humans, clearly. And Ashi jumps off the ship and is basically kind of going through previous episodes of Samurai Jack. And it was really cool the way they did it, because they kind of did it in a way that was quick. So if you did see the original series and you do remember these characters, they're not wasting your time, but they also kind of give you just enough information so that you understand what happened with all these people. We see the 3 archers, which Jack actually saved many years ago from a curse. I don't think we knew that the well was technically cursed by Aku. We just figured it was an evil well. I don't remember that part specifically. And then we actually see Olivia and the Ravers, which I never have seen before. That was pretty, again, another throwback, and I figured it was a throwback. And we see a very interesting song about Samurai Jack. So she kind of goes through the journey and sees all these people that Jack has helped over the years, and we see like there's a whole crowd of people holding up an S sign with their hands and just kind of giving this tribute to the samurai. And that's really poignant, because once again, like we stated in the last episode, that the Scotsman, he stated that this Samurai Jack has given so much hope to the world, and Jack feels like he has failed the world and there is no hope, and he's terrible and he let everyone down, but everyone still really looks up to him. Even after, again, 50 years passing of Aku still being alive, people still really look up to Jack, even though he's been missing for so long. And I think that this episode really showed that really well. I know it was a nice way to kind of wrap up Ashi's redemption in a clean way that was also very quick. I thought that was really brilliant, because some people were saying that she was redeemed a little too fast, and I feel like this really kind of hits the nail on the coffin, seeing all these real life innocent people whose lives were truly bettered and or saved because of Jack, and ruined from Aku. So this is kind of a full circle thing, and Ashi's 100% on board, knows Jack is the right side. But now we see something pretty interesting that I don't think anyone saw coming. She doesn't wear clothes. She was not wearing clothes that whole time. It turns out that black suit wasn't actually a suit. It was some type of ash or tar or something. As a kid, the high priestess basically made her jump into this pile of, I don't know if it was ash or tar, it was some type of, it may have been like some magical fire ash thing that was a kind of a tribute to Aku, and that ash just stayed on her. I don't know if that's something she just did regularly, because I don't know how like ash or tar would stay on you that long, especially since they're like the daughters of Aku were following him down the river as well. So, and didn't wash off, and we see that Ashi washes it off, and she has to really scrub it off. Like, just jumping in the water clearly is not enough. But I don't know how regular ash or tar would just stay on your body to that extent. So I'm guessing this is some type of dark magical ash that is like a magical tribute to Aku. That was an interesting little thing, and I guess this was kind of symbolic. She's washing away the darkness, and we see her in a leaf outfit, and boy,
Extra thin!
So she actually runs into a bar that's full of warriors, or a hotel or something like that, and we actually see two other characters that were from the original series. We see Da Samurai, which again I had never seen that one, but I actually really want to watch the episode because that guy seems really cool. And we see Dimongo, who is there to steal souls, which that was a very obvious Easter egg. If you hadn't seen the original series, I could definitely pick up that that was an original character from the original series, because he just kind of came and said something and went, so it was clearly like a little joke. So that was cool. And there's actually a B plot going on here at the same time where Scaramouche actually survived somehow miraculously, but it's just his head. And now he's going to snitch on Jack and tell Aku that Jack doesn't have a sword, which is extremely important information, because this means Aku can just kind of go in and attack Jack whenever he wants and take him down, and Jack would be pretty much helpless. He would not be strong enough to take on Aku without that sword. So Scaramouche sets on the journey to snitch on Jack, and it's weird because Scaramouche is so likable, you almost want him to succeed, but you're not really. And actually we see the same little port area that we saw with Jack and the Scotsman when Jack lost his memory. So that was pretty cool little Easter egg, and it's the same ship and everything, and he can't get on the ship. He has to get a body. I actually thought he decapitated a guy, since he is an assassin, and just used his body as a body, but that clearly was not the case. And he gets on the ship and he makes a very, very dirty joke. I appreciated that. I'm not going to say that because Haley would probably fire me. So anyway, moving on. Scaramouche's plot continues. He's on the ship, and he finds a phone booth for some reason. This is a very weird future we live in, where not only are there phone booths, but there are phone booths on ships, because why not? And Aku cannot hear him over all the noise, and he gets attacked by some dogs. Again, kind of referencing the dog people, which are like some of the first people that we get introduced to in Samurai Jack in the entire series. And we actually see what looks to be a reference to Astro from the Jetsons to the right, which is super random. And actually, speaking of Easter eggs, we may have seen someone who resembles Zorak from the Brack Show and Space Ghost on the little flying cruise thing behind Ashi. This is kind of ambiguous. Doesn't look exactly like him, but that also might be an Easter egg, since this episode is full of references and Easter eggs. Oh, and we see a Popeye robot in the little hotel area. Ashi runs into this strange person who we have no idea who it is. I don't know who it is. I don't see anyone talking about this character. I didn't see that there were any direct references to this character from the past, so I'm not sure who this is. She may come into play later on. We're not sure at this point in time, and for some reason she knows that Ashi is looking for Jack. So it's very mysterious. I'm sure we'll be seeing that character at some point by the end of the series. I don't think they would just leave that, especially since they were shrouded. I think this is a new character that we just don't know yet. So I guess we'll find out. But we actually see Ashi stumbles upon Jack, and Jack's in this like graveyard, this ancient Japanese looking graveyard type of situation, or crypt. And we see the Grim Reaper guy is basically what we all theorize he was. He's kind of symbolizing Jack's attempted suicide, but he's actually a real thing. He's actually a real person. It's not just a vision that Jack sees. This is actually a thing, because Ashi sees him as well, and he actually tries to attack Ashi. It's very, very interesting that this, I guess, is kind of like a sort of lack of honor, quote unquote, on Jack's part, because he couldn't fulfill his purpose. So this is kind of like the group of the spirits of warriors, essentially saying, he has to take his life because he failed his duty, he failed his mission, and this is the price that he has to pay. This is what has been looming him all this time. We don't even know how long it's been looming him. It could have been looming him for these past 50 years for all we know. So this is actually pretty crazy. So this is a real thing. I don't think he has a name to my knowledge, but so Ashi is basically trying to convince Jack not to go through with it and to fight back. She basically explains that he saved her life. He showed her the truth. And she's, explained that she went through the world and saw all these people that he touched and saved and helped. She explains that the kids that kind of caused him to get to this point that he thought were dead actually were not dead, and that he saved them. So this was a huge moment for Jack. So he's like, okay, I'm good. So he fights back against the Grim Reaper, whatever, slices him like a boss. He just sliced a spirit, because Jack can just do that even without his magic sword. And so that now he's like, okay, I gotta find my sword. This means Jack could have found his sword this whole time, I guess, which is like kind of weird, I guess, because he was just so down and had no true hope left in the world. He just figured, you know what, screw it, I'm not even gonna bother looking. I'm sure he probably looked for a while, but I don't know if he knows exactly where he's gonna find it. I do think the Scotsman's gonna come into play somehow, especially since we only have 7, 8, 9, 10, so we have 4 episodes. So I don't know. I feel like some people might be bothered that Jack didn't look for his sword this whole time, but given his character and his situation, it makes total sense, especially since he can't truly, go back to the past. So this might just be a way to defeat Aku now in the present, potentially. And I think that hearing that the people are still very hopeful, still really grateful to him, and still feel like one day they can truly be free from Aku's grasp on the world. He didn't really realize that until Ashi explained all that to him. He felt her sincerity, and now he's motivated again. This all came together really fast, but it came together really neatly, and that's what I really appreciate about the writers here, because they could have easily rushed through this and it would have felt super rushed, or they could have easily just gone way too slow with it and had a lame payoff at the end. But they're moving through things pretty fast, because they kind of have to. They only have 10 episodes, but they're moving through things fast in a way that is poignant and effective, and that's what I really appreciate about this. So Scaramouche doesn't end up being able to talk. He basically gets bodied and thrown into the ocean. So we don't know what's going to go on with him. We have absolutely no idea, but I'm sure he'll come into play at some point. He has to tell Aku that Jack does not have his sword at some point. That probably will come into play within the next 2 episodes, I'd assume. Hopefully we see the ghost of the Scotsman within the next 2 episodes. If you see the preview, Ashi wants to help him find the sword, but Jack is just like, no, I have to do this by myself. I don't know why that is. Maybe because it's a magic sword bestowed upon him, so he's the only one, or maybe it's kind of an honor thing for him, which would definitely be in character, where he feels like he lost a sword. This is the sword that was given to him as a child. This is a very important sword. This is the chosen sword of righteousness that will defeat Aku, and this is his responsibility. He has to do it, and I guess this is kind of a prideful thing. And Ashi just kind of stays where she is, and she sees a whole army of people that are there to kill Jack, and she just goes ham and punches the general like it's nothing. So I guess she's going to take on an entire army by herself with no weaponry, but that we see. She'll probably steal a weapon or something. So that would be absolutely insane to see Ashi take on an entire army. Maybe we'll even see the ghost of the Scotsman help her out. That'd be pretty cool. Do like an awesome team up with the Scotsman and Ashi. That would be absolutely sick and nasty. I don't know if I expect Jack to find the sword this episode or not. I feel like there's going to be some type of major conflict that happens that leads to him not being able to get it, or maybe he almost gets it, but it just leaves his grasp at the end of the episode or something like that, and then we get it like the following episode. But yeah, this episode is really good. I thought it was really well paced, really well done, really did a great job of solidifying Ashi's character development, and we even see a physical representation of her redemption. And yeah, I can't wait to see what else happens. I'm going to try to come up with some theories, potentially for who that little shadow child is, do some digging on the internet, because I didn't get to watch all of the original series, so I'm definitely going to try to check that out. But yeah, what did you guys think of this episode? Do you think it's moving too fast? Do you think they're doing it just right? How do you feel about Ashi's redemption arc and that thickness? Let us know in the comments down below. If you are new here, be sure to subscribe for more Samurai Jack and all things animation. And if you enjoyed this review, leave it a like. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I've been Michael Williams. You've been watching Cartoon Universe, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.